again. And as before, we have two cameras, so sometimes I look here, sometimes I look here. But I would like to welcome people who are watching on YouTube, although I can't see you. And I would also like to welcome people on Zoom, whom I can see. So we have another session, September session of soul charging, as I say, soul charging. And I've been thinking about it recently, and actually I think this is the thing that we need the most now, charging of our souls. And usually we don't charge our souls. We charge our iPhones, we charge our minds, we charge our bodies with food, but not so many of us charge their souls. And I heard from one of the wise men somewhere on the internet, and he said that we are actually going through the soul test. This is a soul test. And I was thinking, yeah, this is a soul test. So in order to take this test, and in order to pass this test, we need to charge our souls. If you don't charge our souls, you will lose the test. You will have to retake it, but I don't know if there will be a chance to retake it. That's why charging our souls is so much important. And again, as I said, what does it mean to experience this soul test? Well, it means basically that it shows you, or it verifies where you are in your practice. As I'm talking from the perspective of us as practitioners, spiritual practitioners, whether you're a Buddhist practitioner, whether you're a Christian practitioner, Muslim practitioner, whatever, in general terms I could say spiritual practitioners. From this perspective, where are we standing in our practice? What does it give us? What does it give to the people that we live with? What does it mean, practice, for us in these challenging times? And the times will even be more challenging. And even if it's crazy now, it will be even more crazy. What will you do? So it's all the time this soul testing. For some of us, it has been a healthy test. Well, unfortunately, some of the people failed. It has been a financial test. It has been maybe a family test or business test, whatever. But fundamentally speaking, or eventually, at the end of the day, this is the test of your soul. So we need to charge our soul to pass this test. That's why our practice is so much important. Because sometimes we can lose the thread and we said, well, we know it's all these things happen in the world, I'm just all confused. Why do I have to practice? Even if I practice, I think about these things all the time. It's kind of like, doesn't make sense at all. Sometimes we can ask ourselves questions. But then in the practice, it's always about questioning things, and it's always about questioning narratives that we have. And we can hear this kind of narrative, we can have different kind of narrative. If we are Buddhist, we have a Buddhist narrative, but at the same time we have mainstream narrative, different kind of narrative. So to what extent do we identify with our narrative, the narrative that we believe in, and to what extent do we identify with the narrative of the news, for example? So the practice for us is always sort of checking, what narrative do I follow? What path do I follow? What truth do I follow? What I'm planning to achieve? What gives me strength, etc., etc. What makes me weak? What makes me scared? What makes me courageous? All these questions are something that we should all the time keep valid on the path of our practice. And then within the Buddha Dharma, there is this beautiful and amazing, the best news ever. It means, well, what's the coolest thing? And what's the most fun thing? And what's the most sublime thing? What's the most superb thing? What's the most amazing thing? What's the most incredible thing? What's the most whatever yuppie thing is to be a human? To be a human is a huge thing. We are not some lizards. We are not some spiders. We are not some viruses. We are humans. This is first thing that's fundamentally so much important. Then the other thing, oh no, but it's not the end. This is the thing that we have already. We are humans. We should be happy about it. But there is another thing. Okay, why it's so fun, or why it's so important, why it's so amazing? Because we can become the Buddhas. Only humans can become the Buddhas. So this is one condition. Okay, good, yuppie, I'm very happy about it. But there is another condition. We need to find a Buddhist teaching, which is like a gem, which is something so precious that becomes our narrative, that becomes our truth. We follow the teaching, we follow the path of our practice. Then we are endowed with the refuge, we take refuge in three treasures, and we can move on to the Buddhahood. This is the Buddha Dharma way of reality. But then again, you have a different kind of narrative, which says who was that? Agent Smith from The Matrix said. Do you remember? Human beings are a disease and the cancer of this planet. So which narrative do you take? Being a human is the most precious thing, or being a human is a disease? And which narrative do you hear now? In all the news, 24 hours a day. Have you ever heard the news these 2 years that being a human is so much fun and very, very beautiful thing? No. Nobody tells you that. They say you are a virus. You're not a Buddha. You're a virus. So which narrative do you take? So when you treat the narrative according to which we are a disease, then we are a cancer of this planet, as some people say. Then you treat this planet as a hotel. You go to the hotel, you check in, you have a towel, you use it, you throw it away, you have some chips or snacks, whatever. You lie on the sofa after taking a shower, you have some beer, you watch TV, you check out next morning, and sayonara. But the Buddhist narrative, or the Buddha Dharma narrative, said you are not the cancer of this planet. You are the Bodhisattva springing out from this earth. Every one of you is the Bodhisattva, full of love, full of compassion, full of gratitude, full of taking care of others, full of peace. And these are what we are. This is what we are. And when you have belief and you really see that this is what you are, you're not a disease. You're actually a Bodhisattva springing from this earth. So you don't treat this earth as a hotel. You are not a guest. You are not born into this world, but you are born out of this world. You are part of this world. That's why the whole world becomes your home, not a hotel. Even if you go to the hotel, you treat a towel in a different way. Because you take care of the towel in such a way so that you know that there is a next person coming there, you don't make the room dirty, you maybe fold the towel or fold the sheets or whatever, because you know that there will be a person who is going to wash it afterwards. So your perspective completely changed. So what kind of narrative you take influences what actions you take, what thoughts you have about yourself, what thoughts you have about others, what attitude to have to yourself, what attitude to have you about your others. The whole viewpoint of all your life is influenced by the narrative that you take. Whether you take the Buddha Dharma narrative, whether you take the news narrative, it's your choice. Someone can be mandatory, someone is free. It's your choice. But from the Buddhist perspective, being a human, you didn't evolve to have claws. Look at your hands. Look at your hands. They are soft, white, maybe black people have black, whatever, but they are soft, they're not hairy. Well, some people maybe have hairy hands, but they are soft. They are not like Edward, who was that? Johnny Depp from Edward the Scissorhands, you want to hug your wife and then, and then she's all in blood or something. You want to scratch your back and then, you have to call the surgeon because your skin is peeled off because you have scissors here. You don't have scissors. You don't have knives like X-Men. You have nice nails, well, sometimes maybe not nice, maybe manicured in case of women. But you have soft hands. Why? To care for others, to touch others, to help others, to reach out for others. Not to punch. You don't have like baseball bats to, and then you punch someone in the head. No. You have those soft hands. And from the evolutionary perspective, in a Buddhist term, this is what you become, a human being. What can be more beautiful? This is why you have hands. This is why you have feet to move, to practice meditation, to kneel if you pray. This is why you have words. You don't bark like a dog, or like meow like a cat. What can you do with meowing? If you meow to your wife, she will divorce you. If you bark to your friend, he will say you're crazy. But you can say, oh, I will help you. Do you need my help? Take care with your life. Stay safe. See you next time. I love you. I miss you. How have you been? Only humans can say like that, yeah? We're not seeing like snakes or lizards, And the same with thoughts. That's why we have thoughts. We know what's good, we know what's right. We don't need Google. You have your own heart. You know what it says, and it says in a most, what do you call it, perfect way, what is good, what is right. You can call it conscience, you can call it spirit, whatever you call it. You can call it heart. But it says, this is wrong, you shouldn't do it. This is right, you should do it. Maybe you should help this person because she or he needs it. Or maybe you shouldn't go there, you should go there. You all have it. But with the dog, you know, dog wants only just a sausage, that's all. Or procreation or something, nothing else. So being a human from the Buddha Dharma narrative is the most beautiful thing in the world. But how we have heard this narrative, I have the whole library of Buddhist books at home, maybe some of you too. We have heard this narrative for more than 2,000 years. How many of us believe it? How many? I'm asking myself too. We can know about it, we can listen about it, we can read about it, we can sing about it, whatever. We can think about it, but do we believe it? Do we identify with it? For so long it has been here, well, but within 2 years there is another narrative which says, well, you know, actually you're not so nice, you're actually not nice, and you can be an enemy to your friends, etc., etc. And we believe it after 1 week, and we cannot get rid out of that. So where are we? Where is our practice? What to do? When you read the Lotus Sutra, there is a very beautiful practice which shows how to do or how to challenge these difficult times and actually how to move on our practice, on the path of our practice, which is, I don't remember the chapter's name, but I think this was the never disrespectful Bodhisattva, or never disparaging Bodhisattva. Maybe some of you know. And this is a story about a young monk who was a Bodhisattva, whose practice was, he was not reading books like scriptures, he was not praying, he was not sort of listening to like Dharma talks or something. The only practice that he had was when he met someone, he always folded his hands together and he says, I would never dare to disrespect you because surely you will become a Buddha. This was his only practice. To everyone that he met. Whether it was his, well, he didn't have a girlfriend probably, but whether it was his friend or some neighbor or maybe enemy, even if they punched him, even if they wanted to kill him, they spit on him, they disrespected him, but he never turned back with disrespect. He never disparaged them. And this is the most sort of, what do you call, the very fruit of being a human being. When you hold your hands together, when you fold your hands together, and you pray. And you pray. Because, like when I'm sitting here, or you're sitting somewhere there, we are here because of the prayer of others who pray for us. When I was a kid, my parents prayed for me, all for my well-being, for my future, maybe I could have a nice job, blah, 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 whatever. And then when I'm here, at the same time, I pray for my kids, for example. I pray for my parents, whatever. And it's going on. So this world is going around all the time in a sort of merry-go-round of prayer. Like in Tibetan Buddhists, they have like prayer bead, a prayer, what do you call it? Prayer, what do you call them? It's like the prayer beads or something. So they pray all the time. They do mantra all the time. So this is how this world is going on all the time, all the time. It's all prayer, all prayer. Good luck. Have a nice trip, have a good, safe trip, have a nice day, like some friends told me before this class. I said, oh, today I have a Zen class, and he said, oh, good luck. This is a prayer. I'm here because of him. So this is also the result of how the Bodhisattva was praying for others. I pray for you, and I will never disrespect you, because you are not my enemy. I can see the Buddha in you, and I know that you will become one in the future. That's why I'm your friend. And you put those soft hands together and you pray. This is called gasho in Japanese. You can say, you can call it amen, or you can call it whatever you want, folded hands together. But try. When you fold your hands together and really keep it for 2, 3, 5 minutes every day, and make it your own practice, just folding hands together. you see how soft your mind becomes. You see how soft the mind of others becomes. They have no right to hurt you. They will give up. Just if you have a quarrel with your wife or with your partner, instead of retorting back, just fold hands together. Oh, what did you do with she or he can attack you? So then you fold your hands together. Oh, and then she has nothing to say. Like in the story about the Zen master whose name was Sawaki Kodoroshi, who was like 70 or something, and he had problems with eyes. He couldn't see, and then he was walking with his young monks, and the monk was kind of like very stressed because the master was going with him, so the young monk was really like sort of nervous, and then he moved like clumsily, and he hit the master's glasses, and they broke. And then, as I wrote in the book, Roshi was like, now I can't see, oh, you little, he wanted to say, or maybe he wanted to punch him, whatever. But then when he turned around, he saw this young boy, he said like in Japanese, "Gomen nasai, I'm sorry." And he was like really, he could see the sincerity of his eyes, and he could see these palms folded together, and he just got softened, and he didn't say anything. He said, "Oh, okay." So this is what it makes us to be human. That's why prayer is so much important. So which narrative do we take? It's really crucial for nowadays too, especially in these challenging times. What to believe, what not to believe. It's so much important. So I always try to ask myself, and I encourage you to ask yourself, like, really, what is going on? And who is the other person for me? And am I able to practice this bowing to others as this Bodhisattva from the Lotus Sutra? It's really difficult, believe me. Like the other day, I went for a walk without a mask, and then in the park, and I was just, I didn't do anything. I was just walking, and then I saw one Japanese woman who was approaching me, but the lane was very narrow, so she didn't have any way to escape. She had like two options, like bump into me or just go past me, or jump into the water because there was a river. But of course she didn't jump. So I was like, I didn't have a mask, and she had a mask, but still when she saw my face, she was like, she started to panic, and she like, and I saw like she took like a piece of newspaper from her bag and she covered her face, and she passed me, and then she, I looked back and she put it back in her bag and go on. She didn't see Buddha in me. She saw the enemy in me. And it's really crazy, when I see myself, like when you're on the train or something, how do you see other people? Why you're standing so close to me? We have social distance or something, Don't talk to me, don't touch me, all these things. What will you do? What will we do? What will I do? How to practice in such times? Do we challenge it? Do we follow it? All right? Well, not all right, but please think about it. It's really, sometimes we see like, like this is a Zen class, you just sit, okay, I'm happy on my comfortable sofa, and it's okay. Yeah, but one day you have to get out. You have to get up. You have to go to the world. What will you do? How do you react? How do you respond? From where you respond? From your reactions, from your sort of negative or emotional sort of states of mind, from fear? Will you react from fear? Many people react from fear nowadays. They are so scared. And really bad things can happen when you react from fear. Or when you react from love. When you react, do you react from compassion, kindness, caring for others, taking care of others? We follow this Darwinian, the survival of the fittest sort of program, which is everywhere. But the Buddhist program says the survival of the kindest, the survival of the most generous, the survival of the loving ones, the survivor of those who take care of others. That's why it's so challenging now. Yeah. So, as one of our friends here on Zoom wrote to me 2 or 3 days ago, that sharing this silence and really, as one other friend of mine said also, building like a parallel world based on kindness, based on sitting still is so much important now. So this is what we are doing now. Sharing the silence together. Just being completely out of all the things that we hear, all the things that we have been taught, have been told, etc. Have been sort of pressured into or something. Just leave it all completely and just really come back to your own heart and listen to it. Okay? So let's try to do it together today. For some of you, it's not the first time. For some of you, maybe it's first time. I don't know, because those people on YouTube, I can't see you. But well, if you are sitting on a cushion, so make sure that you sit in a sort of, you're grounded and your knees are on the floor. So you have these 2 points here and you have 1 point, your buttocks, so you have this nice triangle. It gives you really nice rounded sort of base. And when you sit on the cushion, you make sure that your spine is straight. Okay? And then put your hands, your left hand on your right hand, comfortably. And feel or check or feel where you are now. In your practice, on the physical plane, on the mental plane, on the emotional plane, what's happening here. Okay? And don't close your eyes, just keep them open. Breathe through the nose. Okay, and now let's see what happens. hold your hands together and bow and put your hands on your knees if you've been sitting cross-legged, and move from left to right a few times. Alright, so this is it for YouTubers, for people on YouTube. We stay with people on Zoom. With the next meeting is 13th next month, so I hope to see you again next month. And really, please try, those of you who are beginners on the practice and haven't done it before, maybe please try to find 5, 10, 15 minutes a day, but really regularly in your house, or if you have a group, with a group maybe, and try to devote, really disconnect from everything, all these Twitters, YouTubes, whatever you have just please disconnect and try to reconnect to your heart, so that you could find space there, and silence and happiness and peace of mind. So please try to do it, and yeah, maybe this is the thing that we need most nowadays. So I really wish and pray that we can do it all together, as this is our home and we are all big family. All right? Thank you for joining, and if you have some questions or anything to write, you can fill in and write to us, or there's, I guess, some anket you can fill it in too. And yeah, and see you next time. Have a nice day. Thank you.